You're a weirdo, but let's do this.
On 100.7
WMMS.
See, this shows how nice I am. It wouldn't even occur to me to play. All the listeners are like, you should have played Ludacris out your window. It wouldn't have even occurred to me to play this as this woman is standing there sobbing in front of the entrance to our parking garage. Listen, I'm not, whatever, you know. And no, that would not have even occurred to me to do that, but it would have been funny. That would have been a lot less intrusive than me tapping my horn. Again, like I said, I use my horn so infrequently that when I do use it, I really lay on it. I figured that would be, I am the worst, aren't I?
Yes.
And I take a great deal. But I'm really not, because, I mean, these women, there would have been no issue at all had they not stood in front, stopped their walk to stand in front of the entrance, very clear, wide entrance to a parking garage. That's not on me, that's on them. I handled it in the most delicate way I possibly could. And stick my head out and yell at them. See people doing that? Not so much here, but a lot of other places. You'll see people yelling out their window or giving somebody the finger or nothing like that.
A lot of people got that road rage, and I don't have
road
it.
Road rage, yeah.
And when I ride with somebody that does have it, and they are like a passenger, and they're like, aren't you mad? I'm like, why would I be mad at somebody else just driving? And they're like, oh, they make me crazy. I'm like, I think these are you issues.
Always.
Well, but also, you're probably right. But there are people out there who are driving not safe at all.
Of
and
course.
I mean, you're putting other people at risk.
But like when I see somebody that's like weaving in and out of lanes or driving like a maniac, or I'm just like, whew, glad it's not me.
I would say.
But I don't get like mad about it. Being mad about other people driving is one thing that I just don't have any.
You
bandwidth.
don't.
I don't have any bandwidth for that.
You don't start up a high-speed chase
No.
and tail them to their exit.
I don't need to be angry. Being angry is my least favorite thing. So I do as much as I can to not be angry, and it bothers some people when I don't get angry about things, and they're like, "Aren't you mad?" I'm like, "I was. I got mad. Now I'm not mad."
Getting angry is misread by a lot of people as being indifferent. And they'll go, nothing bothers you. I go, oh, that is the farthest thing from the truth. It's just I'm not screaming and whining about it all the time. There are a lot of people, if you don't get mad, if you don't. Now, conversely, I also don't get super happy about a lot of things either. And so that's misread as indifference.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you don't care about anything. What person doesn't care about anything? I'm just not telling you how I feel every nanosecond of the day.
Getting excited or being upset is not telling someone how you feel every nanosecond.
But it's not like but I don't not get excited.
Right,
there are some things that I get excited
now
about.
we get to find out how Mary feels.
No, what I was going to say is that
I'll just
tell
step
people
aside and you can tell me.
how I feel 100% of the time. Brian and I had a fight about it a couple weeks ago. I was really upset, and I was telling him about it, and he was like, listen, I cannot do this 100% of the time. He's like, I cannot give you 100% of my attention and self and emotion when you are having breakdowns twice a week. Like, it's too much.
If it becomes a common occurrence,
Right.
you start to go,
So that's my point. Is
You
that
don't want that.
There's a difference between not always being in the middle and not showing happiness or anger and doing what I do. By simply enjoying yourself or being like, man, I'm really happy today, or man, that really pissed me off. That's not showing emotion 100%.
I'm just relaying what people have told me over the course of my life, that somehow that's misread on me as indifference. When I don't get mad about things and I don't get super happy about things.
You prefer that?
Huh?
Yeah.
You prefer that?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, because then when you feel things,
you're addicted to the feelings.
It's amplified. Yeah, I'm not somebody who, you make bad decisions when you're ruled by your emotions.
No.
Yes, you do. By definition, you make emotional decisions, and those are not great decisions.
If you're making decisions when you're emotional, but being
That's
emotional.
what I just said. Emotional decisions are not good ones.
But I'm not making decisions when I'm an emotional.
I'm not saying
in
you
an
are.
emotional state.
I'm not talking about you.
But we were talking about her.
Yeah.
Well, she was talking about her.
Well,
I was talking about me.
Yeah, but then we started talking about her.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
What I'm saying is that you don't have to make a decision to be in an emotional state. Those two don't go together 100%
I didn't say
of the
that.
time.
There are a lot of people who make decisions while they're in an emotional state, and those will be the least productive decisions. You want to take some time. You want to, everybody knows people like that. That they're hot-headed or they're whatever, and those people are generally not pleased with their decisions.
I guess. I mean, like, what are you even?
What's a good decision
to?
What's a good decision you've made when you were in a highly emotional state?
I don't make decisions when I'm in highly emotional states.
Then you're
That's
proving
the
my
difference.
point. That's a good thing to not do.
No,
You're smart.
I can be in a highly emotional state and understand I'm very worked up right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to feel this. I'm going to express this.
That's exactly
and
what
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
Anything.
Not everybody can bring themselves to do that.
Yeah, those are the people who like keep people's cars and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I'm talking
They're
about.
all aggravated.
Those are not
and
good decisions.
Set your cat on fire, and I gotta stop reading these books.
Yeah, what are you reading? Set your cat on fire.
These books are
Person's writing the book. They're like, how am I going to one-up Fatal Attraction from a long... Everybody still talks about the rabbit in the pot. They rebooted Fatal Attraction. How am I going to top that? I'll set someone's cat on fire.
I finished
How about that?
2 books in like 5 days, and my brain is mush. I was at Blake's gymnastics practice Saturday morning, okay? And I'm reading my book. There's probably five or six other parents there just sitting. There's like an area for us to sit and watch. And there's this one dad going wild. I mean, wild at every small thing that his son does. Like,
You mean...
Like celebrating it.
Celebrating
yes. So his son, you've seen little boys, right? His son...
I was a little boy.
And you were one, correct. His son runs and does like a little boy ninja kick. It's not even like a gymnastics move. He just like, he does one of those. And the dad was like, yeah, that's it, buddy. Yeah, you keep kicking, buddy. All right, yeah, good job, buddy. Every single thing he did elicited a reaction like that.
There are some parents that are clearly over-celebrating their children's most minor accomplishments.
Yes.
And that's no good either. But... maybe this kid doesn't get excited about anything, and this is the one thing, and the dad's
Right.
like, finally, something that this kid
Right.
likes, and he's into it too.
And I'm trying to think of that while I'm just
Conversely-
actively getting more aggravated with this guy.
Conversely, Brian's daughter's there doing her thing,
Right.
and you're reading a book,
He is the
You're
only one
completely-
acting like this.
ignoring her.
He is the only one acting
Wait.
like this. Everyone else is quiet. Half the parents don't even stay. Actually, I'd say 70% of the parents don't even stay.
Yeah, they drop them off. They're like, I'm going to go get a
Bye.
drink.
Oh,
Exactly.
We were
Yeah.
a drop-off family because
So
there
were
was
we.
4 kids there's 5 kids in the family, so like
They needed a break.
stuff
yeah,
to
we
do.
got other stuff to do. Find a ride home if you can. Like
Yeah.
it was just scheduling more than
Hey, maybe we'll
anything.
see you at home later
Yeah.
on.
So
Yeah.
this dad's losing his mind and flipping out, and I'm like trying to be like, okay, maybe the kid, like you said, he's not good at anything or he doesn't show interest in anything. And I said, well,
Well, then he'll be
maybe
a stand-up comedian.
maybe this dad, his dad never showed up to anything, so like he's trying to be as supportive as he could. But
Sir,
then,
I'm trying to concentrate on my book.
well, and then I'm like, also,
You're taking me out of it.
the book I was reading is about a husband who they seemingly have the perfect relationship, but he actually locks her in a room at home and deprives her of food and punishes her and stuff. And I was like, this dad's probably beating his kids. He's probably beating the crap out of them, and he feels so guilty that he has to show it in public. Like,
You need
look
to
at what a good dad I am.
You need a palate cleanser with Eat, Pray, Love or something like that. All these murder books she's reading.
Because I was annoyed at him for being so loud and aggravating every 15 seconds, screaming at the top of his lungs. And then it went to the murder book where I was like, oh, what if he's locking his wife away? and he's
Sir, you're
trying to-
taking me out of Chicken Soup for the Psycho over here, okay?
He's trying to make up for it because he kills pets in front of his kids.
So you're projecting these fictional characters onto the dad at the wow.
And then the more I thought about it, I was like,
You're giving him the skunk eye.
The more I thought about it, I was like, okay. So it's actually because my dad didn't come into anything, and now I'm mad at this guy for overcompensating. But that's fine. We'll go to therapy about it.
Mary goes to the kid after and goes, "Is your mom okay?
Hey,
Is your mom chained up in the basement by any chance?" Kid's like, "What? No,
is there a room you're not allowed to go
I-
in?
Now that you have
I just
this
like ninja kicks."
capacity to kind of diagnose these situations a little better.
As far
and
as
you didn't-
murder goes?
Well, no, as far as
It was actually about my dad.
How it's about your dad.
Yeah.
Is that helping at all? Is you're like, okay, like now I'm kind of
Oh, it sounds like it's helping. Yeah.
Hey,
It takes me a minute. I didn't say anything out loud.
yeah.
This whole process was
Would you
probably 4
normally?
minutes. No.
Well, then.
But I'm saying it's like it takes me a couple minutes where it's like I go through a wave of emotions. I'm angry and I'm aggravated at this
But
dad.
in the past, you would have just stayed angry and aggravated at that dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, maybe he's murdering his wife. And then I'm like, these books are fiction. That's not what he's doing.
So it was better when you were just mad at him. Now you're making him a murderer.
But-
now he's a real bad
it sounds
person.
to me like she's going in the opposite
No,
direction.
she's got a process because she went from
He's
this guy's
annoying.
annoying to he's a murderer to oh wait, I'm mad at my dad.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
I'm
then
not mad
it
at
was,
this guy.
and then I let it go. And then
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? You cheer for your son. You do whatever you need to do. But there was a small sliver of him being a psychopath.
Letting things go is the best. When you learn to do that, like where it's a reaction, your reactions go, I get mad about that, but I'm just not gonna.
But it's still annoying.
Who cares?
It's screaming at the top of your lungs.
Why? Yeah, that's what people do sometimes.
It's
They're
just
annoying.
frustrating.
You go,
It's
"Huh,
like, dude, come
what,
on.
what an annoying dude.
It's like, what are
You
you
make a
trying
joke
to prove?
about it.
Relax.
He's trying to prove he's a good dad.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. I will find myself trying to, like Nora has swim in the morning, okay? So we're at the pool 7:30 in the morning, and she has swim with her practice before the meets or whatever. And I do find myself, because I'm not a swimmer, right? All of my children can swim like fish. My wife can swim like a fish. I don't swim. And so I'm not going to be like a those who can't do teach kind of guy. But I will see what the instructor is trying or what her captain is trying to show her or whatever. And I'll find myself just making a conscious decision to stay quiet because there's already a coach there.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, Nora, when she does, I don't want to be
But
doing.
parents do that.
I know they do, and I'm not going to be that guy.
Right.
But I do feel that in the back of my brain sometimes, which surprises me. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here. I'm writing or whatever I'm not going to do that. Because, yeah, there are parents that are like walking over to the lane.
Like, talk, like there's
where
a-
they're
a
swimming. I'm like,
coach.
I'm not right. Let the coach tell them what, you're not. Because that wasn't how I grew up. I mean, I stunk at sports, but my dad was always trying to kind of get me in there and doing stuff because he wanted me to commit to something and he wanted me to follow it through. And those are all great, things to instill in your kid. But I didn't have like sports parents.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly not one of those. But you have it in your brain sometimes. You're like, I want them to do what they're not doing right now. And you got to let them figure it out.
Or
But
let
you
the
made
coach
this-
reprimand them.
You made this guy a murderer
Yes.
in your
might be.
brain.
He might be.
It could be.
He might be doing horrible, terrible things, but he puts on this public persona of look at what a great, enthusiastic, and supporting dad I am.
See, I think that's overselling it. I think if that's the case, we're going to find out that he's done something.
Yeah.
This is what I think.
I think he should probably. I think it's more likely he's excited that his son's finally doing something.
Yeah.
That's what Alan laid out. I think it's more likely that.
Oh, you
By,
don't
like,
think
by
he's
a
a
lot. By a lot.
dungeon?
Yeah, I don't think
Okay.
he's got a dungeon. I don't think he's killing anybody or hitting anybody.
Because the two of you and Poundcake, are unparalleled in your ability to spin these demented scenarios.
We fabricate people's backstories.
Yes, out of just whole cloth. I think the two of you should write a book. The two of you should
That'd be
collaborate.
the wildest book you've ever read.
It would be like a celebrity murder type thing with, I don't know, maybe somebody's got the weekend in a basement chained to a radiator. I don't know. You guys can figure that out. But the abilities that the two of you have, I think if you put your heads together, you got a bestseller on your
Probably
hands
do.
there. Just spinning these bananas scenarios.
That's actually one of the things I like to do when I'm driving. I'll see someone
in
and
the
just
car
based
and just
on
imagine their life.
yes, just based on their car and what they look like, I come up with a whole backstory.
You're like,
for
oh,
them.
she's probably, going through a separation right now. She's really upset. She's taking a long drive.
Man, you guys really put a
Drive-
lot of thought into
Like,
NPCs.
You do.
because I can tell, by the way, I could tell.
by the way that they're driving or if they're dancing and,
Well,
and
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. I could tell that they probably really need this drive because if they're tapping their hands on the steering wheel, listening to the music, I'm like, oh, they really want to feel it.
Are you super bored or?
We're just at a stoplight. What are you going to do at
Right.
a stoplight? I'm not looking at my phone, so I'm observing the people around me.
I
And
see.
I'm
You're
like,
looking at the light to change.
I'm like, this guy over here, he's playing loud music, but he's not moving at all. He just has his hands resting on the window.
Now I'm putting
Aren't
on a
you
show.
worried they're going to turn their head and see you looking at them?
And then you wave. Have a good day.
And then you
Hi.
wave.
See, if I'm at a stoplight, I'm putting on the show. I'm picking my nose, rolling it up, flicking out.
Yeah.
That's so I'm somebody else's story.
And then
I'm not doing a goddamn thing. I'm facing straight ahead.
10 and
You're
2.
the murderer.
Well,
Yeah,
again,
10 and 2.
Alan,
10 and 2, no music on.
That's right. Nothing. Me and my thoughts.
you're the person I'm looking at in the rearview mirror because then I'm like
In
at a
the
stoplight.
rear, you're staring in the rear view mirror. I thought you meant somebody just next to you.
No, but I'm looking all around. If I'm at like an intersection that has multiple lanes, like I'm looking around me. So if I'm at this stoplight and I'm looking in the rearview mirror and there's a guy staring straight ahead, not looking at anybody.
You're the
clearly-
most concerning.
Yeah, you have both hands on the steering wheel. Who
According
drives
to
with
you
both hands on the
maniacs,
steering
is somebody
wheel?
minding their own business to you guys is suspect.
Terrifying.
Staring straight forward? You probably don't even blink.
Catatonic state over here.
I am a blinker. Alan, what if the annoying dad murdered that lady's baby that was blocking the parking garage?
Oh my God. That
It's
was it.
all tied
It's all
together.
coming together. Well, you and Poundcake get to work.
How did I not think of that?
Get to work.
Real page turner.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the first chapter by I don't know. We'll send it to some public.